in Matagorda Bay, the majority of our freshwater historically came down the Colorado River into the bay. The river, because it was flooding areas upstream back in the early 1900s, was channeled out into the Gulf of Mexico, so the bay lost flow. And then it was diverted back in the late 90s, back into the bay to try to increase productivity. At the same time, Austin started this explosive growth, and the need for water in Austin grew and grew so that the flows down to the bay were reduced. And a lot of people have looked at data and tried to look at what levels of flow do we need here, what is happening in Matagorda Bay. But because of all the changes, everything that has happened, there is no way to sort of establish a baseline and say, this is what it once was and this is where we are now. So the best that we can do now, I think, is look at what we have now and move forward and trying to sustain and protect critical areas so that we can maintain the Texas coast. An example of some of the change that's very bizarre is there used to be a type of jellyfish on the Texas coast called the Cabbagehead, and it occurred in Matagorda Bay in tremendous abundance, and it's basically gone now. And people don't really take much note of it because it's not a charismatic species. It's not a giant silverfish that people pursue. But there's a reason why these jellyfish are going away. From my perspective, as a biologist and a lover of all things natural, particularly in Texas, I think it's really important that we try to understand what are these changes that are happening, what's driving them, and look a little bit more closer to try to find some of those answers, because all these changes are important, whether it occurs with tarpon or with the lowly jellyfish, because all of them are indicators of something.